We currently have about 13 inches of snow, and I had all these tomatoes still left in the freezer from this past summer. So I decided to get out my cute spring coffee mug and canned tomatoes. I wanted to try something new, so I did canned ketchup. I started off by thawing out all my tomatoes and removing the skins. I strained out as much juice as I could to try and lessen the cook time since it had to be thick. I added them to a pot with 3 cups of onions and half a teaspoon of cayenne pepper. I let this come to a boil while I got my seasonings ready. I made a spice bag by using a cheesecloth. I added 4 teaspoons of whole cloves, 3 cinnamon sticks, 1.5 teaspoons of whole allspice, and then 3 tablespoons of celery seed. I tied that together and then added this to a pot with 3 cups of vinegar. These are about the same ingredients you'd put in a simmer pot, so our kitchen was smelling so good. While I was letting that come to a boil, the tomatoes were ready to be blended. I don't have a food mill, so you can definitely use that instead of the immersion blender if you do have one. But this honestly worked super well for me, and I didn't notice any seeds. Once I had that blended good, I turned off the spice bag and let it sit for about 20 minutes. When the ketchup started to get thick, I added a 1/4 cup of salt and 1.5 cups of sugar. Yes, I know that seems like a lot, but to me it's still better than buying it from the store. I gave that a good stir and then added in my spices. I let that simmer for about 30 minutes before it was ready to can. I wanted to make sure it was super thick and a ketchup consistency. I processed these in a water bath canner for 15 minutes and of course saved some for a taste test and for dinner tonight. I love how this recipe turned out, and I'm going to definitely be using it in the future. Make sure to like and follow along if you want to see more canning videos.